Hey guys, it's Leah. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my September TBR. This month we're going to be doing something a little bit different because I am going to let a TBR jar choose what I'm going to be reading for the entire month. I do say a TBR jar. I don't have a jar as of yet, so we're actually using a spooky mug, but there are prompts inside. I'm going to pick them out and it's kind of going to determine what I'm going to read for the month. I have my TBR cart behind me with so many books that I want to read in September. I feel like in September, honestly, for me, autumn starts in August anyway. But the second that September rolls around, there is just no denying the fact that it is actually spooky season. So there are so many books that I want to read in the upcoming months, a lot of which are on the TBR cart. We have a range of ones that I am desperate to read, ones that have been on my TBR for like 2 years. And we're just going to see what the TBR jar is going to pick for me. So over on my Instagram, I did ask you guys for a couple of prompts. So a lot of these are actually from you guys and I'm kind of scared because some of them were pretty crazy and pretty mean, but I'm so excited. I think in terms of how many I'm going to pick, I think I'm going to go for 7 because 7 books is the number that I have kind of been averaging out monthly recently. Of course, I might end up reading more than that. Hopefully I don't read less than that and I do actually stick and read an entire TBR. The whole reason that I have decided to stick to TBR jars, hopefully from here on out if you guys enjoy it, is because I am so much of a mood reader and I have felt this for the past couple of months, especially to the point where I have no idea what to pick, so I will not end up reading anything. So I do think a little bit of guidance from you guys and the TBR jar will hopefully speed up my reading because there are so many books that I want to read this autumn. So we're gonna go for 7. As you can see, there are a bunch of prompts and I'm literally just gonna stick my hand in. Why am I nervous? And I'm gonna pull one out. Okay, so this one is from an author that I've never read. Okay, that shouldn't be too difficult. From an author that I've never read. Do I know what I'm going to pick already? Okay, I don't know if I'm going to pick this, but I have surprisingly never read a Cassandra Clare book. I don't know how I've managed to do that. This one is Swordcatcher. It is her newest release that is coming out in October. I believe that it is also her adult debut, which is super exciting. Cassandra Clare is an author that I have always wanted to read from, but because I never really gravitate towards reading a lot of fantasy, I just never pick them up, and this one is a gorgeous like exclusive proof copy. I feel so lucky that I have this, that I want to make sure that I read it before it is released. And I do feel like this is going to be the best place for me to start in terms of reading Cassandra Clare, and if I like it, hopefully then maybe I'll do a video where I read the Mortal Instrument. So this is definitely an option. There are actually so many authors on here that I've never read from before. For example, we have Charlotte Perkins Gilman, we have Toni Morrison, surprisingly. I've also never read Stephanie Garber, so I could do a Once Upon a Broken Heart moment because I'm dying to get to this series and I know that the third one is coming out very soon. But whenever I do decide to pick it up, I'm going to buddy read it with my best friend, so I kind of want to wait until she's also ready to read it, so I probably won't do this one now. Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna go for Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I am so excited. Okay, so for the second prompt, we have, this is a long one, a book with a character who has the same name as someone I know. I feel like this is going to be quite hard. Okay, the name of somebody I know. I'm literally just going to have to read the blurbs and hope that I know someone. Tessa Moshfegh, I feel like all of her characters... Okay, no. Vesta. I definitely do not know someone called Vesta. Ava Reed. Effie. I don't know anyone called Effie. I'm quite worried. Oh, wait. Hang on. So obviously Magnolia Parks. This one is the third one, The Long Way Home. Magnolia Parks. But in it is a character called Daisy. One of my best friends is called Daisy. Does that count? Obviously it's not the protagonist. What did I actually write? A book with a character. We could do Daisy. I am just gonna flick through it and make sure that Daisy is actually in this one. Like, I'm sure she will be. If not, I'll be very surprised. I also just don't want to get any spoilers. I'm quite worried. Okay, Christian is in it. Yeah, so Daisy would be in it. So we might do Magnolia Parks. I don't know if I want to do this one just yet because I've heard so many people say that the ending of this one specifically kills them. Okay, I think it's gonna have to be The Long Way Home, Magnolia Parks. I am terrified. This book is also very long. Of course, I end up with 2 really long books to start off my TBR. This one is just about 530 pages, which is kind of insane for a romance, but I just recently finished Daisy Hate, which is the second book in the Magnolia Park series, and I absolutely loved it. I am just obsessed. I was going to say unhealthily obsessed, but actually no. I'm gonna back myself. I'm obsessed with this series, so I do definitely want to get to the third one. I wasn't expecting for it to be now, but we're gonna do The Long Way Home, Magnolia Parks. Okay, so the third prompt is set in 1 night / 24 hours. Let's hope that I've got something on here. I feel like the easiest thing to do for that would be a thriller, which I have Survive the Night. Wait. Survive the Night. Surely that's set in 1 night. Behind the wheel is Josh Baxter, a stranger Charlie met via the University of Rochester scheme. The game of cat and mouse is about to play out. In order to win, Charlie must do only one thing: survive the night. I am going to assume then that this is only set in 1 night. I have been wanting to get to this book for so long. It's one that has been on my TBR for well over a year now, and I think honestly the only reason that I didn't pick it up is because it's one that I kind of heard a lot of mixed things about and that not many people actually liked. But I did recently read Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. That wasn't the first Riley Sager I have read, but it kind of, I absolutely loved it basically, and I also loved Final Girls. So I do definitely think there is chance that I am going to enjoy this one despite the mixed reviews, but regardless I just want to get to it because it's getting to that time of year. If I just want like a cozy thriller to cuddle up with, I feel like this one might be perfect. So we're gonna do Survive the Night by Riley Sager finally. Okay, so the fourth prompt is gonna be a book with a 5-word title. Okay, I'm not seeing many. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was easy. Is that the only one that I actually have on here? A Study in Drowning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I don't really want to do Once Upon a Broken Heart. Okay, it's gonna be Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. That was easy. This has been on my TBR since I got the gorgeous Fairy Loot edition, which I am absolutely enamored with. Every single time I see this on my shelf, I am so incredibly grateful that I kind of joined the subscription early enough to get this copy. Not solely because of, but the naked book. Does that not just scream like the beginning of autumn to you? I kind of knew that this was a book that I did want to read getting into autumn or even in spring, but now honestly I don't want to wait until next spring. It's one that I have been dying to get to. Another one that I'm not gonna lie, I have heard a couple of mixed things about, but I don't know too much about it anyway. Like, I know it's kind of like light academia, very nature fueled, which is always something that I want to read about in autumn, and I honestly do have quite high hopes for this. So yeah, if you have read this one, please let me know what you think, because I actually haven't seen like too many reviews other than a couple of like not negative ones but a little bit mixed, so I would be really intrigued to know what you thought about it. Okay, and the fifth prompt is going to be a book under 200 pages. I don't think that I have too many on here. So Wide Sargasso Sea, 149 pages. Death in Her Hands by Tessa Moshfegh, okay no, over 250. Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado, no, oh my god, 230. The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, 203. Red Dust, White Snow by Pan Houghton. This one is 189. This one I got recently sent to me by the publisher, and I honestly don't know what it is about, but it just sounds so good, like the vibes it's giving. When an office worker receives a mysterious device promising to transport her to a parallel universe, she assumes it is just another marketing stunt. That night she visits a fantastical place in her dreams. On waking, she returns to her normal life, only return to the same dream the following night. With sharp insight and wry humour, Red Dust, White Snow highlights the blurring of reality and fantasy in our increasingly virtual world. This does sound really good, and I love, you probably know, like the blurring of fantasy and reality so much in books. But at the same time, Wide Sargasso Sea has been on my TBR probably out of all of these the longest, and Jane Eyre is my favourite book of all time, and this is kind of a retelling, I think, from Berta's perspective. So it's obviously one that I wanted to read for years, but I've had such high expectations built up for it that I'm just terrified. But okay, yeah, I feel like this is the perfect excuse to finally get round to this. We're going to be doing Wide Sargasso Sea by Gina Reese. We're already on to number 6, and I feel like we still have a lot of variety, and I'm honestly really happy with the stack so far. Number 6 is, okay, this is another long one. A book beginning with the first letter of the month. So S. Do we have any S? Wait, no, we do. Oh my god, we have a couple. We have so many. So we could do Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. We could also do Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. And finally, Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. I don't think I'm in the mood for like this sort of romance in September. So I'm going to put that one back. It will have to be between Darling House or Spells for Forgetting. This one is a proof of Alex E. Harrow's newest release that's coming out, I believe, on Halloween. Yeah, it's coming out on Halloween and has also been blurbed by Olivia Blake. I have wanted to read a book by Alex E. Harrow for so many years now. Never got around to reading any of them, but this is definitely one that I do want to read this autumn. It does definitely give me the October vibes though. Like, I feel like it's one that I could definitely curl up with in October closest to Halloween. So I don't know if we're going to go for this one because Spells for Forgetting has also been on my TBR for so long. I bought it in Piccadilly, in Waterstones Piccadilly, I think last summer, and still haven't gotten to it. Also blurbed by Stephanie Garber, which I've never realised before, and she says a thrilling rich mystery with exquisite twists. This is one that, again, I don't really know too much about, but definitely gives me that witchy vibes. One that, again, I'm gonna want to read in autumn. Not that I need it, but I feel like this will definitely get me in the spooky vibe. And oh my god, Adrian Young, I'm pretty sure, also has a new book coming out. Fairyloot posted a photo of their exclusive edition that they're doing for Adrian Young's new book. For the life of me, I cannot remember the title of it, but it looks so good. So maybe I should actually read this one before I think about buying that one. It also says Spells for Forgetting is an evocative, compelling novel of lost love and the unraveling of a small town and its many secrets. That does sound perfect. So we're definitely gonna do Spells for Forgetting. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that this would be a little bit harder than it has been. I feel like this has actually been quite easy to pick out a TBR and it's definitely given me the guidance that I need. Now that I've said that, watch this last one be absolute carnage and hell. So the last prompt is, been on my TBR for 1 year and over. I don't think any of these have, apart from Death in Her Hands by Tessa Moshfegh. I don't actually have, yeah, like any kind of literary fiction on here, so we could do that. I suppose we also have Homesick for Another World, also by Tessa Moshfegh, because I bought all of her books at once at the exact same time, fully with the intention to do a video where I read all of them and kind of ranked my opinions and my thoughts. Never did get around to doing it, but I still definitely want to read all of her books, so I could do either of these. I could definitely do Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. I feel like this is a book as a bookseller that I just need to read and still haven't gotten around to doing. And I could definitely also do Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado. She also wrote In the Dream House, which is a memoir that is incredible. I absolutely loved it so much. I rated it 5 stars and I've been meaning to get to this 4 years. Honestly, it's probably the one that I've had on my TBR the longest out of these 3, or out of these 4 rather, so I feel like I should probably go for this one, and it is one that I kind of have been wanting to save for autumn. I believe that this is just a collection of short stories, probably queer short stories, and yeah, very horror, fantasy and fabulism, and very experimental, which is something that I really love reading in autumn especially. I have been meaning to have an excuse to read this for so long, so I think we're gonna have to do Her Body and Other Parties. Okay, so that is my September TBR. As a reminder, I'll go through all of the ones that I will be reading. We have Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado, Wide Sargasso Sea by Jean Rhys, Survive the Night by Riley Sager, Spells for Forgetting by Adrian Young, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett, Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home by Jessa Hastings. I am terrified. And finally, Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I'm honestly really happy with this TBR. I feel like we've got a really good mix of fantasy, of like romance, of short stories, of thrillers. I cannot wait. If you have read any of these books that I am now going to be reading in September, please let me know your thoughts, whether you liked them or you disliked them or you just kind of thought they were a little bit average. I am very excited to read all of these. Also a little bit nervous, but I definitely want to do TBR jar. TBRs, hopefully every month if it is something that you guys enjoy and you want to see. But if you also want to show that you stayed until the very end of the video but you don't really know what to comment a crown emoji for Swordcatcher. A little cheeky reminder that, as always, all of my socials are linked down in the description box below. I have my TikTok, my Instagram and my Goodreads and so much more. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and for being here. I hope you really enjoyed, and I will see you again very, very soon with another video.